another day and Xbox is back again. They've risen from the grave for like the 108th time this year. We'll talk about that, plus some other things, some more interviews with Phil Spencer and GameFile, some interesting information that he has given us on Xbox. One thing I do like about Phil, even if you are against how he is running Xbox, he gives content. He gives you things to read and try to understand what they are thinking when it comes to the brand. We have some leaks potentially of a game coming to Xbox as well that was originally just a PC game, some price cuts, Black Friday deals, and an explanation about Ubisoft and their hub world thing that they are creating. So we'll talk about all of that. But before we do, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, hit the subscribe, share the video, all of that good stuff. But let's start off right now with the revival for the, again, 108th time this year of Xbox. And that is because Xbox, once again, I mean, this is not new news, even though people like to always frame it as something brand new, that they will continue to be making consoles in the future, they say, and other devices. So Phil Spencer on Xbox says we'll definitely do more consoles in the future and other devices, meaning consoles, at-home consoles, stuff that we already knew about that they told us they were doing all the way back at that business update in February. Other devices is what I'm assuming he is referring to here, is the handheld and maybe some streaming sticks or things like that, just to get Xbox in as many places as possible, which obviously with their latest ad campaign, that is what they are going hard on and doubling down on. And this is kind of the annoying thing around the Xbox narrative, at least on social media. I feel like the social media narrative, it doesn't really apply too much at all to the real world when people are looking at where they want to play their games. Do they want to play on Xbox? All of that type of stuff. It's that every single time Phil Spencer does an interview, he says the same thing. And every single time you see the doom and gloomers come out and make it sound like it is some brand new news and that they were correct about their thoughts on everything, even though this is stuff we already knew. This is nothing new that Phil Spencer has talked about here over the last week from his major interviews that he did. This one, I believe, was with the Rolling Stones. He did one with GameFile, and he did one with Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. So it's all the same things here at Xbox that they are doing. And I've been saying this on this channel forever, so I'm going to give myself the pat on the back that they are going to continue to make consoles and that they are obviously putting their games in as many spots as possible. So nothing new here, but if you were worried about an Xbox console next generation or it going away, unless something changes between now and the next time he speaks, there will be another Xbox console. So if you're a fan of the hardware, you're a fan of the user experience, which I am a fan of the Xbox user experience. This is why I like playing on their platform. That will be an option for you based off of what Phil Spencer is saying. The other thing he does talk about here are mid-cycle refreshes, because this has been a major topic of discussion because of the PlayStation 5 Pro, whether it's needed. People really want to spend all of that money on a mid-cycle refresh, the $700 price tag for the PlayStation 5 Pro? He says this: on mid-cycle refreshes, we think about hardware that can create unique value for our players or creators on our platform. We don't need to do incremental hardware for our own benefit. And basically, I think what he is saying there, if you're reading in between the lines, is that the hardware currently right there is providing the value they believe is needed for the rest of this generation. And if you're creating a mid-cycle refresh, it is basically just to try to revitalize your platform, push some more sales, and make some more money for the company. And if you look at the Xbox side of things, the other side of the coin, you could say the reason he's saying this is because Xbox, I mean, they aren't selling like the PlayStation 5. They aren't selling like the Nintendo Switch. So for them, it doesn't really make very much business sense to have to make a mid-cycle refresh. And I don't even think this generation it is worth it, because especially when you're seeing right now with the PS5 Pro, yes, it's a better console. Yes, it is giving some really good experiences, but it is not like the significant jump from the base PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X. So a lot of people are going to look at that and just pass on that $700 console. I'd rather them just put all of their effort right now into next gen and give us a nice jump from the Series X with the next at-home console, so that there is some sort of difference here going from generation to generation. I think we're at a point right now in video games where the return on like graphical improvements is very minimal. This isn't like when we went from the OG Xbox to the 360, or from the 360 to the Xbox One, which those were pretty nice jumps. Or even if you think before that, like the N64 to the GameCube and everything, like those are big jumps in a generation where you were blown away and wow, that's what these companies were able to give us with this new technology. And we don't really see that anymore. The big thing going into next generation is going to be the AI upscaling technology. A lot of people in my comments are letting me know that Xbox has their own, or Microsoft has their own, which they do have their own, but are they going to use that in the Xbox? That's the question. It's Direct SR for their AI upscaling technology. And obviously PlayStation has their PSSR. So that is going to be the big selling points, in my opinion, for next gen. It's like, how good is that technology? How does it work? And is it able to give us that steady performance consistently across the board at all times with these big AAA games, especially games that are more powerful using Unreal Engine 5 that we're kind of seeing have a hit on the current devices. So that is going to be the selling point for next generation. I would almost bet that those are all the buzzwords we are going to be seeing when they start talking about the next gen consoles, AI upscaling, all that stuff. So don't worry, Xbox is making consoles, at least right now, unless something crazy changes, and you're going to be able to, if you want to, go out and purchase the platform to play on. I know I will, because I do like the Xbox platform. I do like the console, so I will be picking up whatever they put out in the next generation. Now, in terms of some more games or some more interviews, we got an interview via Game File that Steven Totilo and Phil Spencer, and Clute here on X is a nice kind of summary of some of the things that were important in that interview that I kind of want to talk about here. So first of all, Indiana Jones, as we know, is out in December and it's looking pretty good. It's going to be a big game for Xbox, but he talks about Indiana Jones on a subscription service and putting it into Game Pass. Says it brought an extra headache with licenses similar to racing games. So that is one of those things there that you have to take into account whenever these games are being made, when they're licensing these major titles, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, things like that. It costs them a lot of money to do that. And there's obviously all of these contractual things they have to abide by. And obviously with putting it into Game Pass, they had to change up some of these contracts. If you're wondering why it's on PlayStation 5, I think one, they know they can make a lot of money off of it. I definitely think that plays into it. They look at the financials, they look at the consumer base there. It is a game coming from Machine Games, Bethesda, that whole group of studios. And that previously, if the acquisition didn't take place, would be on PlayStation. We don't even know. Maybe there would have been a deal with PlayStation for some sort of exclusivity. You never know. So the player base on PlayStation is already used to having Bethesda games, and they're probably thinking, okay, we can make a lot of money off that. This will just be kind of continuing what they expect. So I'll put it there. But the other thing also may be just contractual stuff here, because this game was in development before the acquisition. It does, again, include Indiana Jones, a big license, and Disney, of course. And maybe Disney was like, you guys have to put this onto PlayStation as well if you want to put it into Xbox Game Pass on day one. I mean, maybe that was something that came up there with the entire discussion of Indiana Jones and why it is landing on PlayStation. We don't really know, but I think all those things could have been reasons. The other thing he talks about is visiting Arcane Leon and seeing Marvel's Blade, which I can't wait to see more about that game. Organic collaboration between Call of Duty and Xbox teams went very well, so that's good to hear. We all are hearing some rumors that Doom guy may be coming into Call of Duty and Master Chief may be coming into Call of Duty, so all of that would make sense if all these studios can work together, share IP, share resources, share knowledge, and just make every single game better. He says here there's more room for smaller hit titles like Grounded, which was made by 12 people. And I love to hear that, because some of these smaller projects are some of the better games out there and some of the more successful games. I mean, Grounded is an absolute success that they spinned off in Obsidian. They also did Pentiment, which I don't think is as successful, but that is a far more niche style of game. But it's cool to see that there is more room for that, and Xbox will greenlight those styles of projects. It's not all just about those big AAA bangers. And I think the industry at this point needs more AA games that are big hits. They need that injection of something that doesn't cost as much to develop, but does very well commercially, which will help them grow, of course, and will be better for their ROI, which is what they're all kind of struggling with right now with the amount it does cost to create these games. Now, Age of Empires and Mythology on consoles do very well, that it may surprise a lot of people. It does not surprise me, to be completely honest, because those are both great games. I've been playing Age of Mythology. I love that one. And with the controls that they've created, it's a smart move, and I hope they bring more of those games over. In fact, there is a rumor here going around that it looks like this is actually happening with more of these games. Age of Empires 3, the definitive edition here, is showing up on the Xbox store. Now, this is translated from Arabic, so I'm not sure What? Oh, this is in French actually. The store page is in French, so this could be in France where they are seeing this. I'm not sure exactly where, but it does show here Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition on the Xbox Store, which could mean, are they bringing this over to console? That would make complete sense if they can just transfer over the game controls, the gamepad controls over to all of these PC games that nobody expected to be coming over to console, put them out there, put them into Game Pass. I think they will do very well. They're phenomenal strategy games. And if the first ones that they've been putting out there are doing well, then you can bet that they are looking forward to putting more of those on to the console. All right, let's talk here about some price cuts. We're finally getting price cuts for these consoles. And a lot of this also has to do with Black Friday. But we have Xbox Black Friday deals here. One of the interesting things is today when I turned on my Xbox, those full screen ads that apparently pisses off a lot of people because it pops up when you turn on your Xbox and you just have to press B to get it off. But there was a Black Friday deal one where you could go and see all of the deals if you wanted to. And it worked on me. I went in there, I looked at the deals and I bought a couple of games. So there are some big Black Friday deals going on here on the Xbox Store, as well as with their hardware. 50% off of the Xbox Series X 1 terabyte version. I mean, I still think it should be $100. It's just 4 years into this generation. Give $100 off that base Series X. Throw in a game. Like, we used to get these crazy deals back in the day, but we're just not in that era anymore. But I guess $50 is better than nothing. $50 off the Xbox Series S 512 gigabyte console. Already very cheap console. $50 makes that thing just very much an impulse buy. $10 off select Xbox controllers. A free engraving on all controller purchases with Xbox Design Labs. And up to 55% off select digital games. And as I said, I've already went and looked at the store. There's some decent deals. I usually look at those deals more for picking up 360 games or older Xbox One games, older games I don't have in my collection, because you get them for like $3-4 up to like $10, and just kind of fills out the games that I don't own already. So those are the Black Friday deals for Xbox, and I'm sure retailers will have some other ones there as well. And now PlayStation also has some big Black Friday deals here for the PS5, the older one or the slim one, and then the PSVR 2 discount. So PS5 Slim console is going to be here. Well, this is in euros, but it's going to be 479.99 euros from 549. PS5 Slim Digital Edition 374.99 euros from 449. We already talked about this one. This had to do with the price cuts on the console, where they had already raised the prices and then they cut it back down to $20 under what the console had originally sold for at launch. So people were kind of laughing at that. You have the PSVR 2 headset, which is now, this is big. I mean, this shows that they are trying to get this inventory of the PSVR 2 out there and just kind of, I think, move past VR. I don't think we'll see a PSVR 3, but PSVR 2 headset is 399 euros instead of 599. So that's $200 off. And then the PlayStation VR 2 Horizon Call of the Mountain pack is now 399 euros instead of 650 euros. So some big discounts there for the PlayStation VR. And I'm sure you'll see all of this as well in North America and wherever else they sell PlayStation 5. There will be some Black Friday deals, which is a great thing to see. And finally, we have some information about the Assassin's Creed Animus hub and season pass content that has been revealed for Assassin's Creed Shadows and more. So originally it was reported here by Insider Gaming saying that the Assassin's Creed Infinity Hub will launch alongside Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is kind of like this big world for all of the Assassin's Creed content. If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, that's kind of where you would live. I'm a big fan of the series, so I'm pretty interested in what exactly they are going to be doing with this Animus Hub. But some of the stuff that they were saying here that is going to be contained in this hub is a season pack, cosmetics, and tell the modern day story of Assassin's Creed games going forward. Then you have this Reddit user Thorites, who data mined the first battle pass for it will be called Eye in the Dark, containing 20 different cosmetic tiers. And Insider Gaming has also heard 3 other battle passes previously named: the Hidden Network, the Last Ronin, and In the Shadows, all of which had 20 different tiers, but they are unclear when this is going to release. Now, there was some information as to whether this was going to be paid, all that stuff, and Ubisoft has now come out and clarified everything that is going to be happening here with the Animus Hub. This was in a post on the game's official subreddit. The community manager, Ubi Waldo, clarifies details about the Animus hub and what players can expect. He says, it has come to our attention that inaccurate rumors have been circulating online regarding the upcoming Animus hub, codenamed Infinity. He went on to say here that the rewards will be entirely free and players will have access to regular content and missions at no extra cost, and that there will be no paid subscriptions or paid battle pass within the Animus hub. And he closed out saying that they will be giving more details on this as they get closer to the Assassin's Creed Shadows release. So that is a good thing. Everything's free, just kind of more additional content if you love the Assassin's Creed series. I'm all for that. And obviously with everything that's going on with Assassin's Creed Shadows, with the delay, all of the hiccups they've had up to the launch in February that is coming up, they have to be sure that there isn't anything else out here that is going to look bad on them. So, and you're seeing rumors that they're going to be putting out this hub and they're going to be nickel and diming you, microtransactioning, all of this type of stuff. You know that's going to cause outrage in the community. So it's great they came out here right away, shut it down and said, no, this is just extra content and everything is going to be free. But I'll end the video there. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Bye.